So AMD just launched some bombs at their Computex Keynote, and if you don't feel like sifting through all the recap videos and you just want to get up to speed in a couple of minutes, then this is the video to watch. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf. Today I'm going to be quickly recapping all the important details about the AMD keynote and also what my personal thoughts are on how it went. And if you're new here and you want to see more PC hardware, PC building videos, then hit that subscribe button down below and also that notification bell. That way you never miss an episode. But yeah, let's start talking about this keynote. Alright, so first and foremost, in my opinion, the most important information for the type of people that watch my content is the Zen 2 CPU announcements, and Lisa Su unveiled 3 of them for us during the keynote. Before looking at the specs though, AMD unveiled that this new generation of Ryzen processors are packing a 15% IPC or instructions per clock improvement, and that's just absolutely what you love to hear. These 3 processors that were unveiled are all launching on July 7th and should be up for pre-order on July 1st, and they are the 8-core 3700X, a slight improvement of that, which is another 8-core 3800X, and finally the first ever Ryzen 9, the 12-core 3900X. Yes, 12 cores is amazing, but we didn't get that much anticipated 16-core announcement. We'll probably get that at E3 in June though. Looking at the CPUs that did get officially announced, these are all about what we expected, but there are a couple key pieces of information that I'm pretty excited about. First, the 3700X TDP is coming in at just 65 watts, which is absolutely amazing. Remember that the 2700X is still at 105 watts. And secondly, that 12-core processor that benched 12% faster in Blender compared to Intel's 12-core i9-9920X is right at $500, which honestly makes it the first ever consumer-grade 12-core chip, which I'm definitely drooling over and want to put in my editing PC like right now. Here you can see some AMD benchmarking results showing that the 3700X is about 15% faster in single-threaded performance and 18% faster in multi-threaded performance compared to last year's 2700X. One thing to also mention is that although I'm definitely very happy with the 15% IPC improvement, we definitely didn't get that 5 GHz on all-core rumor which we kept hearing about. I personally never thought it was going to happen, but hopefully you didn't buy into that news either. Alright, moving on past the Zen 2 CPUs, we also got a ton of information about the new X570 motherboards, and this isn't all gravy news like the CPU announcements were. Starting with the bad news, the main thing that's kind of concerning is that we learned that not all of the previous generation of Ryzen motherboards will be able to handle this new generation of Ryzen CPUs. A couple of years ago, we were all super excited that the old AM4 motherboards can handle the next 4 launches of Ryzen processors, and that's just turning out not to be necessarily true because some of them can't handle these beefy of CPUs. Now this is definitely going to narrow down to the board manufacturers specifically, but MSI has already announced that they definitely do not recommend pairing their older motherboards with like a Ryzen 9 3900X, and you should definitely buy a newer X570 one instead. Asus on the other hand has said that everything should work properly, so we shall wait and see what happens with this. Getting into the good news of the X570 launch is that these new motherboards are supporting the brand new PCIe 4.0, which provides way better bandwidth, and this in turn allows for better performance out of things like graphics cards and SSDs. According to Linus Tech Tips, they apparently got an email from Corsair about their new 5 GB per second SSD that takes advantage of PCIe 4.0. AMD also showed off a 3D Mark PCIe bandwidth specific benchmark to compare a Navi GPU with a 3800X, and they got 69% more performance than a 9900K in an RTX 2080 Ti. Keep in mind that this is purely a bandwidth test and not an actual performance test, so be sure to calm your expectations. And finally, the third and most disappointing part of this keynote was about the AMD Navi 7nm graphics cards, and we really didn't get that much information. AMD did confirm that it'll be called the Navi RX 5000 series GPUs, and they showed off what was apparently a 5700 series card in that bandwidth benchmark that I just talked about. They did also show off a random Strange Brigade benchmark which showed that the 5700 is 10% faster than an RTX 2070, but with no price or specs, this is really hard to judge. All in all, I'm definitely starting to get a little concerned about the lack of Navi news. It kind of feels like they just threw it in the keynote so that we weren't freaking out that they didn't include it at all, but now that they did include it and they didn't really talk about it, I'm still kind of freaking out. Overall, I'm still pretty happy with how the keynote went, and I'm super excited to see some affordable 12-core CPUs coming to the shelves in the next month and a half, and I'm also really excited to see the advantages of PCIe 4.0 on the new X570 motherboards. We didn't get the 16-core CPU announcement that I wanted, but hopefully they were just holding on to that information to splash at E3, but we shall wait and see. Well, that wraps up my quick recap of the AMD Computex news. As always, drop a comment down below about what you thought of this news or what you thought about this style of video, and definitely be sure to let me know if you want to see more Computex news. After that, feel free to head on over to one of these 2 videos if you haven't seen them yet, and definitely hit that subscribe button because coming up next, possibly more Computex news. You don't want to miss that video.